Hello, you've reached HellsGate's YouTube channel, and today we're in the Strongest Kingdom event, and in Kingdom versus Kingdom, and today is we're in stage 6, the upgrade building. And for many of the veteran players, this is actually a very tough event to do because we kind of started getting all the buildings upgraded, and it gets to be really expensive to upgrade them anymore, and in some cases it's expensive for very little reward. And so let's show what the rules are with the Strongest Kingdom building event is that you've got your various chests with various levels. I happen to have upgraded at least one stage of my watchtower. I think it's in phase 3 right now, or prestige 3. And so we go from the early stages here, 400k, 970k, 4.8 million, just to get the chest number 3. And the next good chest to get is over at chest 6, which you need to get 53.4 million points. And how do we get the points? Well, the rules are over here, and you get 150 points times the building power that you've upgraded. And the only other way how you can get points is purchasing from the traveler merchant, as well as buying gold. You don't have the luxury of doing the research of the Sage Tower with this, or using the wishing well. So you got a few less options to be able to accumulate points, and I'll show you that the points become even harder to get, because let's say I wanted to upgrade. Let me look at any one of these. Let's say I wanted to upgrade something that's at prestige 5. So let's take a look at this blacksmith over here. And if I wanted to upgrade it, you can see that it takes about 24 million wood, 20 million food, multi-million in iron, and it takes 8 days. And what do I get in terms of points? Well, since this is prestige level, there's 10 phases in order to get that. So let me go to the info and display power. And here we are for this particular building with a blacksmith. To go from prestige 5 to prestige 6, I only gain about 13,000. Split that up among the 10 phases for each upgrade that I do. And so that only leaves me with 1,300. So 1,300 times the 150. Let's see how many points that actually gets you. Doing the math with my calculator, so you actually get a decent amount. 19,000, or no, 195,000. So you actually get a decent amount of points with that one. But let's say you wanted to do something that was less expensive, and here we go with some of our hospitals, or even a military tent, and we go into the info here. Here we're only gaining, even with the other prestiges, let's say you're only at prestige 1 and you want to upgrade this thing, you're only gaining about not even 3,000 power to go from phase 1 to phase 2. Divide that by 10, you're only getting about 300 points, or 300 power per phase. And then, so 300 power times 150. How many points does that give you? Not a whole lot. Only about 45,000 points. So it gets more and more difficult to upgrade and get a lot of points, as well as to have it economical. These things start to become very expensive towards the end. So what options do we have? Well, there's a couple options here, and one of them is kind of a trick to demolish some buildings and rebuild them during the phase. As you saw in the rules, you get plus 150 times the power for improving something or upgrading something, but if you demolish it, you get minus points. So the key is to demolish buildings before the event starts. And so that's what I've done here. Over here I've got 2 farms that I used to have. They were phase 5, and I demolished them before the event, and I plan on upgrading these for a while to show you how quick it can be. Now the trick here is, what I mean by how quick. Well, there's some tricks as to not having to spend 4, 8, or a day and a half to try to upgrade in between these phases. And so here's the tricks. The first one is look at your college research for the strongest kingdom preparation. And if we look in here, we go to Excellent Architect, and right here, one of the things that if you max it out is that it gives you reduced building time, and it's not a lot, but it at least is something. So it says here that it's going to reduce the time by 840 seconds, which put that in terms of minutes, it reduces it by 14 minutes. That's not a whole lot, but it is something. The next thing that we have at our disposal is our heroes to be able to do upgrades for construction. We've got our construction officers. And so these are the two that I've currently picked. And here's some of the attributes that are in here. And also, you got your Lord skills. So we're going to look at the hero skills and Lord skills, and as well as the equipment. And really, I'm just going to focus on the equipment because that's really what's going to make or break our strategy for doing the demolition of a building and upgrading it. So here I've selected the Royal Equipment set, and one of the nice things that this has here is that each individual one of these has a building percentage. And then if you get all 6 of them, you see here the building speed also increases by 19.2%. So individually, you can barely read it here, the word overlap here, but you get about 7% per each of these. So 7 times 6, you get about 43%, plus the 19% buff for all 6. So it adds up. That's just for the Lord. Now let's look at the hero. And the one hero that's pretty important is Bartholdi. He's the actual construction officer. It takes a little bit of effort to get him. But one of the things that I need to show on here is that he works in a manner of 2 things. One is that if we go up into this talent and look at here, the first level here is reduced time of building upgrading, and that's in hours. So just upgrading this first level here, we reduce the time to construct by 5 hours with that first one. These next sets here is actually a reduction of construction costs, so you need less resources. So if you have a cheap building and you have these skills on your hero, and he's mounted on your castle hero for a construction officer, you can actually don't have to spend very much, if anything, on some of these building upgrades. And look, here's another reduction of time. So here's another 5-hour reduction. So at the moment we got 5 hours, 10 hours, and at the bottom here, look at this, we got another 5 hours. So just on his talents alone, we save 15 hours of time. So we'll see how far that gets us on doing some upgrades where, we automatically get 15 hours off. Now here, if we look at his equipment set, I've also picked the 2 Royal sets here because that's what I was able to get. So it doesn't give me any building speed buffs other than the 2 individual ones that it has. And then I also happen to have the Creator set, and I don't have all 6. I think I got this as part of the festival events, and I just ended up only getting enough to get the 4 of them here. So here there is some reduction in iron costs and reduction in mithril costs. So this helps you out, especially if you want to upgrade your hospitals and military buildings too. But let's open up one of these individual Creator sets here. And look at this, it also has a reduction in time of building, 2.5 hours each. So I got 4 of them here, so that's another 10 hours. So at the moment, I think we've identified with Bartholdi that 15 plus 10, that gives us 25 hours of time reduction to upgrade a building. And if we look in here, before I go, let me look at the other hero. No really substantial benefits on that one. Come in here, I have here Kimatsumi, and again I have the Royal set, so I'm getting another 15% buff speed plus all the individual ones, which is about 6% on each of them. So that works out pretty well. And in terms of talents, this looks like I got her set mostly in military mode, but so that's kind of a summary of the heroes. Now, if I look at the summary, if I go to my castle and see who's in here, if I go to the construction officer, so here we go. We got the traditional building speed upgrades, of which my heroes are contributing a 34% increase in the building speed, in addition to my Lord skills, which I got currently about 174. But the key thing to look at is over here, right in the middle. It says reduce time of building and upgrading in hours. And we had identified 25 hours just from the Bartholdi hero, and with some other factors going on, it's coming up as 26.9 hours reduction. So what does this mean? I can have a building that takes a little bit more than a day and a couple hours to build, but with these settings that I have here, it's going to upgrade in 3 seconds. 3 seconds is probably the bare minimum. The other thing that's important to see here is the reduction of food cost. A lot in food, wood, iron, and mithril. And so basically, and which I'm going to demonstrate to you right now, is that we can upgrade these farms, and they will basically take most of the phases. They'll take 0 resources and basically 0 time. So let's do a double check as to what our power is, because I want to be able to predict what the power is. And based on here, we're starting out at 683 points, and we're going to see how far up we go just by upgrading one farm. And if you notice, I'm not doing any of the card buffs for speed because I'm kind of saving those for something else. I usually save them for research and training soldiers, just my preference. But here, my goal is to really get, at least chest 3, maybe chest 4, and, the amount of time and effort it takes to get any higher is pretty high, but here we'll at least show how easy it is to do the farm. So here we go. We're going to build our first farm, and we're allowed total 10. I already have 8. That's because I demolished 2, so we're going to build this one. And here we go. It's going to take 3 seconds to build, so go ahead, build it. Let it to its time. There we go. One's been built. And now if we look at this in terms of points, first sets of levels here, we get very little power on it, but once we start getting ourselves on the order of level 22, 23, that's when we actually start getting some good points. And when we get to level 30, we're getting nearly 1,100 points in those phases. And after I get this upgraded, we'll start to see the prestige power levels as well. But so let's just start upgrading this. Oh, and the other thing too is that we had 840 seconds because of the college research. I also have my VIP on here, so that gives me another 30 minutes. And then we got the roughly 27 hours because of my my hero skills, primarily from Bartholdi, and the creation set, of which I only have 4 of them. So let's run through this and let's see how fast we can get going on this farm. So we got level 2 done, and at the moment there's like no requirements. Upgrade free, and time is generally on the order of 3 seconds. And so there's level 5. Here we go. Level 6. Keep on going. Sometimes the system gets locked up here, so here we go at castle level 7, and it tells me now that I need to provide 1 wood in order to upgrade this. So very expensive. Now we got 3 wood to do it, 6 wood, but still no time. Just a standard, it's actually going faster than 3 seconds. So just keep on going. I've learned to let it say that it's upgraded. before I continue, because otherwise it gets confused and we have to, restart the program, which I don't want to do. There we go. And check this out, I'm already on level 16. Man, I wish this would have happened about 2 years ago when, we're struggling to upgrade stuff. So here we go, next level to 18, and I only need 673 wood. So keep on going. Now I need 875 wood, and the time, it shows there 3 seconds. Alright, we're already up to level 20. Keep on going. Level 21. Right now level 22, and at the moment, we only need 2,000 wood in order to do this. So this is not too bad. There we go. Finished 25, going on level 26 now. And at the moment, we only need 5,500 wood. Now we need 7,000 wood. Now we're going to level 28 now, with only needing 9,000 wood. Keep on going. Level 29, 12,000 wood. And there we go. 15,700 for wood to be able to upgrade this. And now we are at the prestige level. So let me close out of this just to show it. So I've already upgraded this to level 30. And where are we in the grand scheme of things? We are at, I'm going in here the long way. So here we go. I'm now at 7 million points. And now I've guaranteed myself a third chest, and we're still going to upgrade this thing to Prestige 5, or we'll see how it goes. I don't want to be here too long on this, but now that we've gone into getting to Prestige, now things are divided into 10 phases, and our wood level drops, and now we got Prestige badges. So hey, I just thought of something else that we could do. Not that it matters, but let's go to our Wonder and change that. Oh, I did have it on building, so I did set that here. So we're okay with that. Also, another thing that I use to increase is that the dragon. It just so happens that my level 30 dragon here has a buff. It's garrisoned, and if we look at the buffs in here, I've got a building speed of 25%, and one of my other drag flames in here is for research speed of 15%, and I've got something here for decreasing consumption of healing soldiers, which is I think the standard one, but this also helps out with building speeds. Now the thing to notice here is that typically these farms and other resource buildings, they don't take a lot of time, so these these equipment sets that you have that have a reduction in hours works really well, because the time to upgrade is just a matter of hours, so that's what makes it 0. But these things don't quite work if you've got a building they upgrade and it takes a few days, or some of them take 100 to 200 days. There you wouldn't want to use the creation set, but you would rather use some of the other speeds, like the royal set, which gives you a % off. And if you use all your equipment sets right, that has a % reduction, I've seen it reduce the time by a matter of 10-20 days, but you still have nearly 180 days to go. But at least you get a savings in a matter of days. While with the creation set and with Bartholdi, it only saves you 27 hours. So keep that in mind, that if you have a building that takes a long time to do, you should be using the Royal Equipment set, because that gives you a % reduction off of the big number, rather than just getting a standard set of hours. So just kind of give you a little bit of overview here. Now let's start to upgrade this towards Prestige, and now I'm not getting that nice friendly box, and I got to keep on going back in here. But this pretty much gives you the trend that I have basically had no wait to be able to upgrade this all the way through level 30. And if that's the case, I bet you I got a good chance that I can go all the way to Prestige 5 with basically taking it just a few seconds in between each phase in here. And I do have to warn you is that while this is cheap, you don't have to hardly spend any resources, and it's relatively quick. The only problem is that you have to upgrade your buildings 30 times to get to level 30, and then another 10 times to go in between each phase. So you're literally having to upgrade this 80 times, which adds up. So we've already gotten into phase 1. I think everyone gets the picture here. I don't want to show you in gruesome detail as to how this all works out, but with these settings here, I got a pretty good feeling that I could probably get it all the way up to Prestige 5 and not take a lot of time to upgrade, and the resources probably those should be manageable as well. But again, I don't want this video to go forever, and I'll stop here. But I think that demonstrates using the right equipment sets to be able to get a reduction of hours and upgrading buildings that don't take a lot of power to do. And where are we at in terms of power right now? We're now at 7.8 million, and minus the I believe it was 683,000 on this other building stage that I done. But so basically, you get 7 million just by upgrading a farm to about P1. And so if you want to do the math, you can calculate, okay, I need 7, and you get to 200. You still got quite a number of buildings to be able to do that. So it does take time, but it does at least give you a chance to be able to get your 7,000 gold and some of the other heraldry and Lord and hero experience. So with that, I'll conclude this session. I hope you guys learned something from here. Definitely the Barthorley Hero is very important for reducing the number of hours and reducing the materials needed, but the creation set is also another useful item to be reducing those hours as well. And this technique works for buildings that do not take a lot of time to upgrade. On the matter of basically we're looking at about, as long as it's under 27 hours, this thing will upgrade pretty much right away. So I'll close now. Again, this is HellsGate in Kingdom 1145, and thank you very much for your time.